Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome back for another card video. Today I'm doing 2-for-1 backgrounds. So I'm going to create one background and then I'll split it and make two different cards with it. I made one using gold embossing powder and one with silver embossing powder. I'm going to be showing you the silver one in the video today. So the background stamp that I'm using was a present. It's called Kaleidoscope Leaves Background. It's by Simon Says Stamp. You could use any detailed stamp for this technique. So I'm going to ink it up with some Versamark ink and I'll sprinkle it with some silver embossing powder. This is Ranger Silver, and I get a nice metallic finish. I'm going to be coloring it with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. What you want to do is you want to pick 3 colors that go together. I've got my cool tones working with the silver, and for the gold one I created, I have warm tones. So I have blue, green, and purple, and my favorite is the blue, so I'm going to take the kind of part of this background that is the most prominent, and I'm going to color it with the blue. And these markers have a very, very fine tip, so it's really easy to get into those little areas. For my second favorite color, which is the purple here, and I'll have the exact names on the blog, I'm going to color the second most prominent design on this panel. And then finally, for the third one, I'm going to use green. So you just need 3 colors, and I guess the number will depend on which background stamp you use, but I would limit it to 3 probably. You could use 2 colors. Or 3. So now what I'm going to do is highlight this in black, and this is the best part about doing this background. It really makes it really elegant, and I'm going to add a little black touch to each one of these elements. So for the blue one, I'm going to color around those outlines in the center, and then around the in-between petals of the purple one, and then I'm just going to do one circle around that green one. And this is the design. So once I get one of each colored, I'm going to repeat this all for the whole entire background. I'm going to pause for just a second here after I've done all the colors. So if I cover up the part that has black, you can see it's a little bland, but when you add the black, the whole thing just looks so much more vibrant, really makes those colors stand out. This next step is really important. When I'm using water-based markers over embossed areas, it's going to resist. So my colors are laying on top of the embossed area, so where it's not on the paper. And unless I absorb those, like if I touch it and smear it with my finger, it's going to smear onto the cardstock. So I'm not going to rub it, I'm just going to press down to absorb any excess watercolor marker that's on the embossed areas. And there definitely was a lot of kind of little black spots on that tissue. I'm going to split this cardstock at 3 3/8 inches, and I'm going to start with the small one. I'm using this hand lettered greetings. I'm going to grab this hello and die cut it out of some black cardstock. I also have a little strip that's about 1/8 of an inch wide, same Stampin' Up! Black cardstock. And what I'm going to do is take my ATG tape runner and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of the strip and put it at the bottom of my card base. And then I'll add some 2-way glue to my black strip and place it right on top of there. Now you can mat it to a full piece of black if you want, but I like to be frugal about my cardstock. And then I'll add the sentiment on top of that same way with the 2-way glue and just position it right over there. And I decided to kind of make it off to the left a little bit just to have it a little interesting. And then I'll just cut off the excess. I'm going to keep these cards really simple because if you add too much, it takes away from the background, and that is my focal point for the card. I'm going to take the other piece of this background and add it to the top of a second card. So I'm using this Mirror stamp set by Ellen Hudson. It's got this You Are Beautiful stamp, and I'm going to stamp it onto some Nina cardstock with VersaFine Black Onyx ink. I'm just going to eyeball the frame of it. I'm just going to mat it to some black cardstock, put some ATG tape runner, and just center it right there. Then I'll take some tape runner and put it on the back of my design panel and adhere it to the top of my folded Nina card base. And then this time I have about 1/4 of an inch black strip that I've cut, and I'll add that with 2-way glue and trim off the excess. I always cut it a little bit larger just because it makes it easier to handle when you're putting it on your cardstock. And then I'll put some Scotch foam on my sentiment, and that will be it. So again, keeping it simple because my background is so pretty and beautiful, I don't want to distract from it. So here are the 2 cards. Now here is the other one that I created with gold embossing powder, and I used pink, orange, and purple for my colors, and I made this one a thank you card. So anyway, those are the cards. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.